bro. Like we understand, it's like we get your viewpoint, but like a lot of people don't even know. And to this day, people would think they say, "Oh, the Asian or the Chinese," and it's like, well, that does not make any sense.
So right now they're talking about who came here first, the Native American or the Indian. To me, it's clear cut. Who is the United States in treaty with? Who's that first treaty with? It was in 1786, right? Morocco. I think people don't go back and read that treaty and see what it says. That treaty doesn't say anything about human cargo on ships. Like people just, when you talk about that treaty, like people just neglect to see what it really says. Like, yeah, it's Morocco. That's African Americans. That's their inheritance. And then in the treaty, it mentions Spain. It mentions Mexico. Like, what does Morocco have to do with Mexico? Like, isn't Morocco on the other side of the globe in like Africa? There's no Mexico near Morocco. So then when you think about, oh, okay, America was called Morocco, then you look at the words and how it's re-exchanged. You say, okay, Al Morocco, Al Morocco, Al America, Al Morocco, Al America, Al Morocco, America. Then you think about it and you say, oh, that's how you transliterate it. Okay. They just don't want to drop that guard and say African Americans are Moors. They don't want to do that. Like if you read that treaty, it's like, what is everybody waiting on? That treaty is giving everybody the green light who's African American to gather their inheritance and do what they want with it. How does it say in the treaty that the money should be on the same footing with the most favored nation? The economy should be with the most favored nation. Who is the most favored nation right now? It's Europeans. White people got all the government contracts. This is why I say, like, your vote really doesn't count because you're not of majority. You're not of adult age. You're not in full life. You're not in proper person. Our people go to the polls, who they vote for? They vote for someone white. Why are you giving your inheritance away? Every election, you're voting Democrat. Every election, you're voting blue. Every election, you're voting liberal. Like, how is it that you have this entire nation and its budgets geared towards making sure you're comfortable and you're not utilizing it? And then you're mixing with the person who's not giving you your inheritance. Like you're outright allowing them to defeat you willingly. Then when Africans come over here, you have the nerve to call them African booty scratchers. They're not allowed in your communities because they don't even rent in your communities. They don't own anything in your communities. They don't have businesses in your communities. You allow Arabs to come into your community and do what they want to you. They impregnate your women. How do you allow that to happen? Again, when you look at the treaty, it doesn't say anything about human cargo. You can look at the Treaty of Algeria, the Treaty of Tunis. It talks about ships and signals. It doesn't talk about human cargo. So why everyone excusing the fact that blacks have an inheritance with that 1786 treaty? Everybody is neglecting the fact that they have African Americans have a clear inheritance with that treaty. They can sign on to it or they can revoke it. If they revoke it, what do you think is going to happen with Europeans if they revoke it? No one is even going to mention that treaty to you come 2033. Come 2032, no one is even going to mention it. They're going to silently go into, what is it called? The Benjamin Franklin room, and they're going to sign off on it. They're going to silently go in there and sign off on it. You're not going to be represented. And it's your treaty. They have you all thinking that that treaty belongs to King Muhammad over there in the kingdom. It doesn't belong to him. It's not his treaty. That is a kingdom. It's not an empire. That treaty was wrote off on during the presence of the emperor and the empress. When we were present, wherever we signed off on it at, with the European chancellors, what were we doing? We signed off on it. There's a public illustration of it being signed off of in French. And look who's the three people that's signing off on it. It's three dark-skinned Moors in turbans. They have people thinking King Muhammad is the one, or his name King Abdullah or King Muhammad, one of them. They have people thinking that he is the one who's supposed to sign off on it. And he's not. He's just a governor of a state over there in Africa. Idris had more power when he was the leader for Chad. Idris, he had more power. The president of Ghana has more power than the Sultan of the Kingdom of Morocco because of his descent. He has more power. The president of Ghana, because of his descent, he has more power than the Kingdom of Morocco. What is this about? You think Africa is just going to sit by and let you all just tear up this land? Africa is over there right now in their lands talking about making sure they get roads fixed so they can get markets up and going in certain parts of their countries. They're not just going to let you mess up the lands. Remember, some of us over here are still African and we still have birthright in descent. They know this. They're not going to sit by and let us just die off. Although a lot of us have mixed, a lot of us still haven't mixed. This is not going to go by the way you think it is. It's not. This argument right here is mute. This argument is mute. We know who was here first, and we know who has a right of inheritance, and we know who has right to inherit this land. We know who. It's African Americans. They weren't brought over here on those ships. And even when they were brought over here on ships, they already were here. They already were here. Try being a teacher of a classroom of 13 children. Try being a captain of a ship and think it won't tilt over and them people won't swim back to shore. You can't swim. You're a white captain of a ship. You can't swim. We know you weren't swimming back then. We know you weren't. That ship is going to capsize, and whoever is on that deck, they're not going to outfight them warriors. They're not going to outfight them. Look at these pictures. They say a lot. Great peace, Yakoki.